Alright folks, welcome back. Game number 2. Now again, the spawn locations don't match the overlay, but this is just so that their names sync up here in the top. And you know who's playing on what Archon team. In the bottom right, we have the Teal Archon, leading 1-0 with this really sick Ultralist strategy. It's Targa and Lambo.
In the bottom left, as the red Zerg Archon, it's Dimaga and Slivko.
Yeah, and again, the folks at Rocketbeans TV generally get very high viewership. There's constant I know that the StarCraft community has been kind of betrayed, so to speak, and there's always a lot of questions and paranoia about things. But guys, I can guarantee you, from someone who heard about them once about 5 months ago or whatever, and has watched some of their gaming talk shows and non-StarCraft 2 content, granted not a lot because I don't understand German, but enough to stock the channel, Rocketbeans TV just has great viewership all the time. So for those of you who are like, oh my god, how many view mods do they have? I know you've been led astray by some folks here in the StarCraft community, but Rocketbeans TV is pretty freaking legit, and it's really cool that they're doing StarCraft 2 content, guys. So be grateful, not suspicious.
I didn't watch G4 that much. We talked about that in an earlier cast this week, but if Twitch had been around during that time when G4 was like getting out of business and they were getting rid of all their TV shows, I would have totally have watched like G4TV.com on like Twitch. Okay, that was a really good show. Or like X-Play back when it was good, before it got bad. Yeah,
from what I've been told, they are essentially the German version of that.
Well, then they sound amazing, and I wish I knew German.
All I know is that I'm quite jealous of their. This is gonna be such a small detail, and no one's really gonna know or care. But their transitions are really good. Like when they go to a commercial break, or when they come back, or they're showing their schedule, or going to another segment of another show. Their scene transitions they do are so seamless and smooth and custom, and I'm jealous.
Rifkin, one day we'll get our studio. We'll get, like, you know, a nice little desk, and we'll pay someone to make, like, production.
I feel like this feels like one of those things where, like, you're on the boat to America for the first time, and you're like, one day we'll have it all! Our own place!
This will all be yours.
This will all be yours, yeah. Father!
The curtains. Yeah.
Cute little link fight over here. We'll go in the favor of Teal Archon. Smush! Triple first blood, I guess. Overlord not being chased off because they want to hide vision this time around, but mostly just to kill the Overlord, get some free damage, and of course a potential supply block on their opponent. Dimaga and Slivko have really got to step it up this game. Whatever it was last game that was weird, I mean, okay, once in a while weird works. Let's be honest. Ultras, I don't think that works every single time they go for them, but that instance definitely caught Dimaga and Slivko off guard.
It did. They scouted it, but honestly, you don't go in a game thinking of that as a possibility. You go into a bunch of other things that you're well prepared for. But to see that and go like, oh, okay, what do I remember from like beating this 2 years ago? Did I go X? Did I go Y? Like, that's gonna be something that you forget.
I kind of feel like one of the best ways they could have handled that, and it sounds silly, but would have been to just to SimCity it off. Just like, not just spies, but even just like a couple Evo chambers here and there, and force a good defensive fight and counterattack.
In Heart of the Swarm, you could have done that, because like the deal was that you had the easier army to make, and you would just derp them out, and that would be that. And then you get up to like a Greater Spire, or you just take good enough engagements with your own micro, because Ultras were derp. But in Legacy of the Void, they're so effective, and the Lings are so effective too now, that it just like, that doesn't quite work out the same way. You know, the way that they tried it too was also attack before it got high enough of a count, and it almost worked. If those mutants hadn't bought in like the 30 seconds of time, maybe they barely steamroll in and win. So, if they get the same scout, they'll probably try the same thing, and hopefully it'll work out this time. Or not. Or they'll go for their own Spire, really change things up. I don't think they're going to be going for their own Ultras. Maybe.
I mean, the Spire's not a bad idea. Even just having a couple of mutants is nice to pick off the Bailings. Lets your Lings have more free reign on the ground. But regardless, this is still a very dedicated amount of units outside the base. And unless Teal Archon is silly enough to eat a Baneling alive like that, like, it's probably not going to be too hard to deal with.
Well, they almost have the Carapace upgrade. I have to imagine the macro player is alerting the micro player like 10 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second.
Even then, though, you still don't really want to go in here like this.
He needs to get that one Baneling, and then he can take on the other one.
They keep segmenting off like 1 or 2 at a time. Like, ugh.
Yeah, you got it. But that's so much time. Like, it's not gonna do anything with it. The Spire's almost done. The meter's gonna be out in time to deal with the potential roach attack. So you'll have.
Yeah, I guess that's the nice thing about the +1 carapace too. It does transition, or allows you, pardon me, to transition out of it, but they're not done with the front lines just yet. Not paying attention though, maybe? Okay, he is paying attention, snaps back, pulls off a couple legs, segments to go for the Baneling specifically. Nice moves over there.
Misses one of them, so the Banelings live. Oh, a Nidus Swarm! Oh, wow.
Ooh. Well,
wow.
Wait, did they ever scout the Spire?
I think they get the gist, just because there's so many lings and not throwing roaches.
Maybe, yeah. So, like, they haven't visibly seen it, but the Nidus Swarm I like just because it'll let you get across the map for free. What I don't like is the positioning of it. This is so exposed. And
oh, what's that?
Oh.
It's a Nidus Worm.
Now, there's a hell of a lot of queens because they were going to put this in the Nidus Worm. Funny enough, this will actually counter the Mutas quite well.
Yeah, but he has those spore crawlers back at home, which is something you're supposed to have. That's a bit of an oversight.
That's going to be a definite problem.
Awkward, but looks like Red Archon either didn't really see it or they didn't care enough to try and catch it. Well,
is the turnaround real? He's gonna build his own spore crawler over here on the other side of the field, or he was for a second. And like he moved the drone.
I'm not. That might even be on purpose. There
Actually,
it is.
no. I think this is great because if it comes down to base trade, you got this building here, right?
Right? Yeah, you can take it with you.
No, this is great because the amount of queens here are actually enough to deal with the mutas. You can kill the Spires, so no more mutas to worry about. Roaches coming from the front lines. There's a small amount of roaches for Red Archon, but really nothing that can contend with the current roach count combined with the fact that these queens have transfuses. I think that unless Teal Archon messes up severely, they've just won this game.
Yeah.
Because like, once they counterattack me, let me just go back into my Nidus Swarm and go back home and save it all. Like, it's
so kind of Sunday.
They've got this on lockdown. This is the turnaround. We always wonder if this will happen. It always seems to be the case. Rematches go the other way more often than not. And Dimaga and Slivko won the first series so one-sidedly with a lurker play, with just dominance and I don't know, control. This time around, Targa and Lambo say they want none of that. Let's not forget, this match is worth €500 for first place for the team that wins this best of 3. 250 for the one that loses. And I think Targa and Lambo are about to celebrate a really, really good day of StarCraft with €500.
Yeah, that's Euro too. So to us, like North American guys, like that's like dollar.
That's like I think they use like 1 1/4 or either 1.4 or 1.5 times the US dollar.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money, yeah. Bottom line, a lot of money. Spore Crawler killing Overlords. Are you for real? Are you for real? Take a look at Chase Race. GG, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be the Rocketbeans TV first ever Archon Cup champions, Targa and Lambo, aka Larga. I don't remember what I called them, but